record. I'm pressing it now. There we go.
Oh,
Recording.
hey, again, here we are. Do you like the Martian glow I've got going on here? The red.
Yeah, looking very Martian.
There we go. We're going like this is the natural look. This is the natural look. I can get it right now. So yeah, and you can see, is my light bulb really low or am I standing up? That is the question.
Are you at a standing desk?
I have not. Well, I stand up to right now. That's what I do. I stand up.
That's a good
it.
idea.
It's like you're getting fit without noticing. Whoa, and that's the aim, isn't it? We always want to get fit and not notice it. It's just like, oh, looking out, oh, I'm standing. Just like, hey, sometimes they're like, I used to have this dreams like, you know what? It'd be great being a post just for the fitness. You know what I mean?
Postman.
Yeah, just for the fitness. It's like, yeah, we walk around all day. I'll get fit. I'll get beach body and all that. Just like, I do not notice. Just like, it's all natural.
It's impossible. It is good. There are jobs where you have to be on your feet and you're doing things all the time, like farmers, for example. They're not gym strong. They're just like strong.
Yeah.
They can just do anything. Bales of hay around and stuff like that.
That's right. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. How are you this week, Dom?
I'm really good. I felt it's weird. I was just the other day. In fact, it was yesterday. I had this feeling, and it was around about 7 o'clock, right? I just had this feeling of like I'm cured. Very profound. It was just like there. It was just stopped. Everything just like I've been working in the day. I'll talk about that later. But I just had this feeling like I'm cured now. Everything all the issues that I had like for the cancer is done. I'm all right. Just had this profound feeling, just like all right. And I said to the missus, I said, good. Didn't bat an eyelid, just carried on doing what she was doing. It's like, oh, okay. I'm just randomly throwing out profound thoughts left, right, and center. That's what I do. Just Dominic being Dominic. Like,
she's so used to it.
Yeah.
But that is amazing and a really good thing to acknowledge, isn't it? Because when you live with being sick for a very long time, to actually go, hang on, I'm not sick. I'm actually okay. Have you been told that by the hospital?
No. But to them, I'm fine. Because like I have a checkup once every 6 months. They go like, your PSA gets tested, and it's like, okay, what level is it? Which is the indicator for prostate cancer. And just go like, it's just like the indicator was like, we have to read it twice because we're not getting anything. I'm just like, right. So to them, I'm all right. But but there's still a emotional, physical, a mental toll, and you've been through stuff, been through anything. I mean, I don't like to use the word trauma because, like, you start saying the word trauma, everybody goes, because like, is there a scale for trauma? And if so, everybody's just different. You know what I mean? So I'm just go like, but whatever you do in life, there's an impact. Yeah. In some shape or form, whether it's a positive or a negative, there is an impact. So, but yeah, I just had this feeling of like, you know what? Everything is fine.
Yeah. What a nice moment. What a nice moment.
Yeah. And it's just like, I had there's a couple, also, I think part of it was also that all the things that I had hanging over me work-wise, I've done as well. So like before I was, as you know, I'm a writer, as you know, and I was normally if I do a poetry collection, it'll take me 2 weeks to write, right? That's not how long it takes me to think about it. I might be thinking about it, but then all the ideas coalesce and you're just like, right, okay, 2 weeks. And then at the end of the 2 weeks, I've got like, I've got this whole pile of stuff. Who wrote that? I have no idea. This other person who took over me for like a couple of weeks, but they've been marinating this, that. But like when I do my heavy tomes, my crime novels. They take a year, right? But this one had taken 3, right? Because like I had a diversion, right?
Yeah.
The cancer stuff. So it was like, so it's taken longer than normal. And plus I tried to write when I was ill, right? So it was like I knew I was writing rubbish, but I knew if I stopped, because there's a certain aspect of momentum to all these things. You know, it's harder to like start again than to just like battle
Yeah,
through the week.
yeah, and you can always edit. I don't think
Yeah,
it really matters
of
if
course,
you write rubbish because it's all in the edit anyway. So I agree with
absolutely.
you about keeping the momentum.
Yeah, and nothing is ever rubbish because who's to say, you know, out of all that stuff there isn't a nugget that it's like, what,
Exactly.
you know? So that actually reminds me, you know, there's this thing about morning pages.
Yeah,
Yeah. And people like, oh right, if you've got another thing about like you do three pages of continuous writing, no editing, all right, and then at the end, right, you've thrown all this stuff out of your brain onto the page, and then, which I think is a criminal act, is what people do next. They throw it away.
I
No,
don't see the point in that. I keep it all.
same exactly. You keep it all. You keep it all. You doesn't, because at some stage, you know, maybe 10 years later, you go like, you know what? I'm going through something now, and I'm sure I had the answer 10 and a
A long
half years
time
ago.
ago.
Let me go back
I couldn't
to,
agree more. I couldn't agree more. And I'm always saying this to students as well, that like you can read the same book 10 years later, written by someone else, and it means something completely different to you because the story is constructed in the mind of the reader at the time in their circumstances. And
yeah,
we
yeah,
change completely.
yeah, yeah,
So we're different people, aren't we, at different stages? I mean,
yeah,
there's
yeah.
elements of us that stay the same, but we're
Mhm.
totally different because we're shaped by what's gone on.
Our
And
experiences, yeah. So yeah, it's just like when people go like, yeah, I do morning pages, like, right, okay. Um, and then they go like, oh, then I throw it away. It's just like, no, why would you do
mine
that to
it.
yourself?
You should mine it or use it or
Yeah,
refer to
exactly.
it or look
It's,
back on it or
it's,
reflect on it or
it's not like storage boxes are expensive. Do you know what I mean? It's not like, yeah, it's not like there's ever a storage issue, is it?
no, no.
Oh dear. So yeah, so I got to this stage where like I felt I was cool because like first of all, there's the one aspect who's like there's the book that I was writing and like done that, and plus at that time my editor was going like, yeah, it's really good, yeah, it's great, yeah, can't wait to read the finished article. I'm going like, sake, if he hadn't like gone to me like, hey, I really enjoyed this, I can't wait to finish, I wouldn't have bothered. I would have just gone like, do you know what? This is the juice ain't worth the squeeze. The juice ain't worth. But then, and the other thing is, every year, I'm a judge on a poetry slam, but it's a poetry slam for kids. They're like year 9.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, and like in the whole area, right? Different poets go into schools and they have competitions in the schools to like and then they and the best teams from the schools like come to like the town hall, right? So we had 20 teams of kids, and some the largest group was 6, the smallest group was 3, and they get up on stage, and every school has had the same theme, right? And so we pick the theme every year, and every school, so you're looking at how they're interpreting it and whatever. So, and I'm a judge on that. Now I was head judge this year. When I say I was head judge, I've been there before, and I was sitting in the middle, so I'm the head judge. That's how it is. Hierarchies. Oh yes. Where are we today?
I think you'll find I'm in charge.
I think you'll find I'm in charge. That's my seat.
Get out.
So anyway, but it's absolutely crazy because like I wanted to be a writer when I was like 10. I wrote a short story when I was 10, and then I showed it to my teacher, and he went like, uh, he changed all the names because what I had done, I'd used I was in a Greek mythology, so I'd taken some of the Greek mythology names and twisted them, right, to for my own thing. And then he changed them all back, and just after that, I just didn't show, I didn't show anybody anything after that. Right?
I used to do that. I can remember writing a story with a character called Creanus Flex. So I changed Oedipus Rex to Creanus Flex. So your teacher totally wrecked your story, and so it put you off for a while.
Yeah, put me off for a solid. Oh, well, so that was I was 11, 10, 11. I did 2 stories. He did that. Then I didn't. I completely wrecked me with my ideas of writing stories and showing them to people. Also, remember, there's like no black writers about. This is in like early 70s. Like, okay,
yeah,
black writers, where are they? No, not about. So I didn't do anything, and then I got into songwriting because that's words again with music.
yeah.
But then
So there
I
were
kept.
plenty of black writers about, but they weren't writing.
Yeah, yeah.
They probably were, but they probably weren't getting published.
Yeah, yeah. And so I got back into writing again when I was about like what, 27? So that's a long time not to but like I've said before, it's like if there's something within you, it will find a route of coming out. So you've better to identify it and do something about it. Right? As that goes for many aspects. So it's not just music, but if you've had some issues or whatever, you need to deal with it at the source. Otherwise, they will manifest themselves in some way that you can't control.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's so true. And you probably know about this, but there's a really famous book called Your Body Keeps the Score.
oh yeah.
And it's kind of describing what you were saying, because it doesn't use the word trauma, which you were reluctant to use earlier. But it tells you about like the physical impacts of things that happen to you. Let's just call them things, not trauma.
Yeah.
And it's a bit like last week when you were describing that when your daughter got her result that she wanted and she'd achieved really highly, you felt physical relief, didn't you? And you didn't even know you were worried because you knew that she would get that. But it was just kind of like,
look at the flexibility. Look at the flexibility now.
you can move now. Yeah, but we hold these things. We hold them. And it was last week, Don, when I was talking to you when I was on holiday.
Yeah.
I was walking around every day for miles because we were just like out all day, every day on our feet, mainly, apart from the hour I've sat on my bum talking to you. But that was when, for me, I realised I wasn't injured anymore. I could do everything again, which is the first time this year. And it was like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Out and about. Yeah. Wind. It's all good.
I'm back. It's a nice feeling, isn't it? I mean, it's not the same as realizing that you're cancer free and don't have to take those drugs anymore and stuff.
Yeah. But there's always, like I said, but there's always the mental aspect to it, and that is the hardest part, isn't it? The mental part, because you just go like, that has such. When you start thinking back, it's like, okay, at the different points in your life, we're like, okay, what the mental anguish you felt, because most of the time the mental aspect of it has a greater impact than every other aspect. We have to learn to control our minds.
Yeah, and that's kind of mindfulness type thing, isn't it? It's noticing what's going on, because we tend to just kind of accept it and not notice. And if you notice it, it's not that you can necessarily get control of it, but you can accept it. You can kind of go, oh, okay. Because otherwise you don't know.
Yeah.
So it's quite a hard thing to get used to, though.
Yeah. But I suppose it's one of those things. Like you learn it. You identify what the situation is. You come up, you practice what you need to practice, and then it becomes second nature, like driving, isn't it? You're not going like, right, clutch, steering. My wife doesn't come in right now because I can't drive, right? So she's always going like, I'm saying like, press traffic lights there, red, be careful. And she goes like, you don't drive, Dominic. Behave yourself. Doing this.
How come you don't drive then?
Oh, dodgy eyes.
Oh, is it so? Are you not allowed to?
No, well, no, basically, I'm not allowed to. My eyesight isn't good enough, but it's all right. So, when I was supposed to learn, I was a musician. So you just go like, I'm doing the music thing right now.
Someone else drive.
Everybody else was driving, and then living in London, driving
Don't
is
need
a
to.
waste of time. Trains, taxis, and then I needed to when I became moving up north and and was a careers advisor. They were going like, right, okay, driving is essential for this job. So I started having driving lessons, and then my eyes started going up the creek. And so basically, I said to them, right, this driving thing that you're saying, it's not really working for me. And they're going like, "Ooh, we might have to get rid of you." And I'm going like, hold on, hold on. I'm a careers advisor. Let's sort. And this is a career service. This is easier to sort out. Takes a bit of thought. What you need to do is like, driving is not essential, is it? It's not. It's just desirable because what is essential is being at particular places at particular times to do the job. That is the essential bit, not
Yeah.
how you get there. It's just the being there. So I said, right, everybody had car allowance. They said like, okay, they give every careers advisor X amount of money per month for their car and X amount of money for per mileage. So I said like, how much do you give? What's the average that you give everybody? Right, extra for that. I said like, tell me what it is. Give me that, and I will guarantee I'll be at the places I
Be
need to
on
be at.
time.
I just
You'll
took
get
taxis everywhere. I just
Yeah. And if they didn't do that, it would kind of be disability discrimination, wouldn't it?
exactly, and it's the career service. I'm just going, come on. Like, right, so careers advisor, get to schools, right? Okay, how do the kids get to the schools? Do
On a
they
bus.
take do they take the bus?
So can you. Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? Because they should be
You know,
encouraging public transport.
but this is the thing with large organizations. Yeah, sometimes they lose sight of the basics.
You did such a
Right?
good job there, though, because they've made up that policy to serve a need, and you just went, take it back to the need.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, all right, okay, so people come in and they have issues, and it's just about, can you do the job? Yes. What is the impediment to do? What might prevent you from doing it is getting from A to B. How can you get from A to B? Right. Well, there are various options. Simple.
Bus, bike, train, taxi,
Yeah.
car share.
It's just things, just as I was, it's like, what is the outcome you're looking for? The person to be in a particular place. You just go like, all right. But
Well done.
yeah,
There you
but
go.
if you think about it, but you know, I'm a careers advisor. I was supposed to think about those things, but how many other people are in those similar situations? And all it just takes is a little bit of thought, and somebody just go, there's other people go like, oh well, you can't. It's how many jobs you see like it says driving is essential, or a particular thing is essential when it isn't really. It's
Yeah.
desirable, and the majority of times there are solutions. Even as something as simple as like, oh right, I have a bad back. Oh well, if we change your chair, right, for 100 quid, you'll be more efficient and be able to do the job. Oh, we hadn't thought of that. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. It's not that difficult, really, is it? To sort of think, oh, well, what are the other alternatives?
yeah.
Do you know when I had little children, I used to try and do like not tricks, techniques, I would say, on them to
Yeah.
get them to do stuff. Like this is a long time ago because my kids are grown up. But
Yeah.
I remember saying to my daughter, and she was 2.5, I said, right, you can wear this today or this today. And so I used to give her a choice so that she didn't have a freak out and say, ah. And she
Yeah.
looked at me one day, and she was used to doing this, and she looked at me and went, only those aren't my only options. I just thought, oh, game
Oh
over.
no! Oh no! You've been rumbled.
I'd
But that's,
been calling her that those were her choices and that she had some choice. And she was just like, no, no, no.
no. I've seen the back of my wardrobe, and there are other things in there.
There's other things, and I can choose them. And so from then on, that was it. She just chose,
Hey, but you have to
snowy
update your
day, fairy suit, and wellies. Great.
yeah. Yeah, but then you just go like, okay, have secret cupboards. Like,
But
you
the
got
reason I bring that
my
up
things
is
gone.
that some
My
people
things
haven't got out of that thinking when they're grown-ups. They still think,
gone.
oh, it's A or it's B, and she was right. Those aren't your only options. You
Yeah,
can come up with other ways of doing things.
yeah, but I mean, you hit on the point there because I always say that when you're younger, like the learning you have is worth triple points, right? Because the older you get, the more fixed you are, and it takes this really hard to like undo it. It's just like like learning languages. When you're younger, it's really you know easy. Well, it's easier than when you get older. It's like, oh, you want to learn it. That's when you never want to learn a language when you're younger. It's like, oh, French. No. When you're older, it's like, hey, cool to learn a language. Learning French and Spanish and bit of China. I got a friend who's learning Welsh. She said, what? Are you Welsh? No. Why? Why are you doing it to yourself? Like when you're younger, it's like a language. Oh,
Yeah.
je m'appelle Dom.
Apart from
That's
the
all
kids
I
who
got.
grow up
That's
with
all
several
I got.
languages in their household, they do brilliantly.
Yeah. What's that elasticity of the brain, isn't it? The older you get, the more it goes like, I know what I do now. I don't do other stuff.
You got to keep those pathways going.
So, but they say that's how you keep young, isn't it? By you keep learning,
Learning.
That's how you keep, because new pathways can be formed in the brain. And I mean, they've
They
done the research.
can. And they can forever as well.
Yeah. So it's just if you but then you've got to do stuff like see that cake? Nah. You see that having a good time stuff, like all that bad food, nah. Then you're like, I know I should do the right thing, but there's this cake, there's this booze. I like having a good time.
That's right.
Yeah. And then stuff happens to you, then you go like, I wish I got my act together 20 years ago.
Never too late.
Never
Can do
too
it
late.
now.
But that's the thing. It is. The body remembers, but then you can like retrain stuff. You know,
Yeah.
and then you
It's,
look at things through different angles. Like I said, like this next project I'm going to be working on is like my memoir. And the punchline at the end, no spoilers, is that, the way I'm going to write it is that, those let me change this. Let me change slide. Remember those with those kids books where like you could like if you picked a particular choice at the beginning, the whole book was the journey was different.
yeah.
Those ones go like your choices. The mystery ones are like option take the left road or the right road, and then you do that just like it's the same book. It's just like depending on what choice you take, that's how I'm going to do it because at the end because everything boils down to how you perceive things and how you look at things. It's just like, okay, oh, I've stubbed my toe. Oh my gosh, I've broken my leg. But hey, the other leg's fine. Every other part of me's fine. This leg can heal. You know what I mean? I'm going to do a limp thing for a while. It's going to be a cool walk. You know what I mean? It's like, it's all about your perspective.
There's a lot to be said for that. Yeah, because you can reframe something, you can tell a different story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what an interesting way to do a memoir. That's amazing.
Well, it's
It'll be
because
fun.
like most people people go like the ego takes over and goes like, oh, I'm going to do a memoir because I've had such an exciting life and I've got things to say and people are going to be interested about me. There I was being like the head of paper shuffling. at the paper mill for the last 25 years. Oh yes, we had a new coffee percolator in 1975. It blew our minds. It's just like nah.
It would actually be a brilliant book. One day Bessie was late with the cakes delivery.
It's like so it's a case like, okay, if you're gonna grab someone's attention, you have a duty to, like, okay, because I'm all about getting people to think in a different way. So it's like, okay, if I've grabbed your attention, I've got to give you something. I can't just go like, well, hey, I'm Dominic. I laugh a lot. I'm cool. That's all you need to know. 400 pages of that. No, there has to be a reason to the writing. I have to try and impart some kind of knowledge or wisdom or experience which you can get something from. Otherwise, it's just like an ego trip. It's like, yeah, at the paper mill, it was crazy. When we got a tea maker, oh my god.
Yeah.
Pringles in those
That'd
donuts.
be fun.
It was crazy
I
times.
And have you actually started on this project? Are you still finishing your other one?
No, I finished the. I've started on it now. It's a case of like, oh look, I was been making notes all along, casually, like, but now it's a case like, right, okay, done that. My mind's clear. I can approach it with the openness and the lack of ego that is required. Because to do something is like, as I said, there is a part of me just goes like, hey, it's me. Of course I'm brilliant. Of course everybody's got to want to know what I've got to say. Actually, because it's just me. And then the other part of me just goes like, well, come on. If I'm gonna put time and effort into it, somebody. My thing is, when I used to spend more time on songwriting, thing I also used to say is like, okay, when I write a song, it has to be performer proof. It doesn't matter who's singing it. The melody's got to be strong. The words have got to be strong. So the words I put on the page, just like when I do performance poetry, they got to be strong on the page. It's got to work and resonate even if you don't know me. So yeah, so it's gonna be interesting, but and also it's one of those things like, since the cancer thing, it's a case of like, right, what do I feel I need to do, and what do I want to do, and they're not necessarily the same things. Which brings me actually onto a very interesting point. I was speaking to a dancer, Di Hines, and she said something very interesting, which I want to share with you, which you might have probably heard before. She said there are 4 hungers. Everybody has 4 hungers: the hunger to connect, the hunger to belong, the hunger for solitude, and the hunger for spirituality, to have a bigger meaning to things.
Yeah.
And that's, from a writing, I want to do that from a writing perspective. As I say, once you take the ego out of it, like, hey, it's Dom. It's a case of like, right, okay, can those 4 elements be put down on the page? And that somebody reading that will feel more connected, or have a greater sense of belonging, or feel a greater sense of spirituality. I mean, straight off the back, if I just go like, right, or I write my Black experience down, right, that's going to connect with, there's a certain audience that's going to connect with that straight off. So, it's going to be interesting,
Yeah. And the spirituality, I agree with all those 4 things that people need. They come up with different labels in positive psychology, and the spirituality one, for some people that will be like a god or something outside of them, and for other
Yeah,
people that will just be a sense of meaning and purpose, where they sort of think, yeah, that's what I'm supposed to do. But most
yeah,
people have a sense of that, whether it's through faith or religiosity, or it's just gives them a ration, what they might see as a rational um, meaning. It doesn't necessarily mean that it is rational. They prefer to think of things in those terms, and they're more
yeah,
comfortable with that. So um, yeah, but that's really good. Yeah, that'd be great to get all that across.
yeah. So what are you working on?
Um, I'm working on quite a lot. I was just thinking about memoir because I'm very interested in it, but I have had a go at it before. But actually, this is a horrible thing to say. It's not about happiness. It's too sad for me. I don't like to look back. There's too much that makes me too sad, and so I prefer to just think of going forward and don't really like to. I don't want to dig over things that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I fully understand that. It's like, because okay, what is the purpose? Everything, okay, like what is the purpose? For you going back and looking at stuff, there'd be no purpose to it. Because any
no,
learning you had to do from it, you've already done, and you're fine with that. And it's informed what you do now. Right?
yeah,
So me, conversely, it's like, okay, me looking back, there's learning from that I've got, but I can then shape that and send it out to the world, and it helps. That thing that I try to do is like everybody I meet, I try to make their lives better. Right? Basically, it's like, dog, what do you do? I do stuff. You can put a label on it, but basically, it's like, hey, I want to make your life better. Simple as that. I might have 30 seconds, might have a minute, I might have an hour, but that's it. You know. So, but your past has informed your present and your future, and it's just like, okay, I'm choosing to use my prior information and that experience and shape it into going forward as writing as a memoir.
yeah.
By the time I finish it, it might have a different title. I would just go like, I don't want to put my name on it. This is pure fiction. This is like, I need to cover myself. It's fiction. None of this ever happens.
Give yourself a really funny name, like
Yeah, yeah,
The Life of Nigel.
yeah, yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. Um, to answer your question, I'm working on quite a lot of stuff because I do a podcast called She Wrote Too, which is about women writers of the past. And actually,
Mhm.
when you said about no black writers,
Yeah,
we try and do writers from all over the place, um, because women's voices tend to kind of not been taken forwards.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So the men, there were a lot of great men writers, but we remember them. They still get celebrated. Everyone's heard
yeah,
of, Charles Dickens and Oscar Wilde and Thomas Hardy and all these dead white men. Finding black writers is really hard, and finding female black writers is even harder,
yeah,
especially because we specialize in like the end of the 19th century,
yeah,
early 20th century, and a lot of black women at that time weren't learning to read very much.
yeah,
So I've been trying to work with the British Library to find out, because they will have been telling stories, I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
doubt. So what I've been looking at is the oral tradition of the time,
yeah,
because
yeah.
there will have been a load of black mamas telling stories, won't there?
Absolutely. I mean, and that is one of my drivers for writing. Was like, okay, I Black Africa is a very strong oral tradition,
Mm,
but it's like, okay, when people die, the stuff's lost, or somebody comes along and goes like, it wasn't like that, no, it's like put their own spin on it. That's why I write what I write, because like there's a gap. There is a gap. Oh, Black history from a particular perspective. Oh, I can fill that hole partly. I can inspire others. You know, like I saw something recently about there's this exhibition, and they're looking at black music through the ages, and the earliest known recording, not actually physical, like the music, but noted that there was a black performer. Was this? I think it's the Bayeux Tapestry. There's a black trumpeter, and they know about him because he wrote to the king, going like, okay, can you guarantee I'm going to get paid? Like, can you guarantee I'm going to get paid? And they went like, yeah. So that's how they know his name and who he was, and because he was going like, right, hey, I'm here, I'm performing. I know you're the king. I want to make sure I'm getting my due. And if that isn't inspirational, I don't know what is.
That is great.
And as we have 30 seconds left, I think that's a great note to end on, and we'll come back next time.
Okay. All right. And happiness is easy as a song by Talk Talk. Who knew? Okay. Take care, my friend.
All right then. Cool. All right then.
Okay. See ya.
See ya.